Hi there, this is Kyle again. Thanks for coming back and joining us for our video series on marketing basics. Today I'll be talking about integrated marketing plans. If you got any questions or comments about the video, please feel free to reach out to me on the contact information to the right. All right, so before we start talking about integrated marketing plans, let's just kind of talking about what's not so great about a lot of marketing. We see a lot of garbage out there, marketing that doesn't seem like there's a lot of thought behind it. You're going to see tactical executions that seem random or disconnected from a larger brand story. That's because many marketers are in such a rush to get their work out the door. They're not really thinking about why they're making this, why they're committing to funding and building and sharing those marketing messages. Adopting an integrated approach means you'll be thinking about how all the elements are going to come together, and they're going to be connected by a strategic framework where all the executions are then working together in an integrated fashion. So, if I were to give a definition, just think of it as the shared vision and story of all combined marketing efforts, mixing traditional and digital marketing channels with like event marketing and other types of promotional efforts. It's important that it's not just a combination of types of promotion or types of platforms, which that definition could suggest. But really, it's also important to understand that all these elements are tied together. They've got a shared strategy. And that's what kind of is the glue that holds it together. You want to make sure that all of this is building up to better tell your brand story, and it's building that brand equity, and it's driving revenue. Having that kind of cohesive glue with a clear strategy is what enables all that to happen. An integrated marketing plan is also, it's a document. It doesn't mean you have to create a document, but I strongly suggest that you do. And in a lot of your marketing classes, you're going to need to do that. When you have such a reference point, everybody knows what these details are about, what is the things that we need to do. And it's also letting us know exactly how are we going to measure that? How are we going to make sure this actually worked out the way that we intended? It's not a static piece of documentation. It's really something that's going to keep changing. It's going to evolve over time, and it's going to make sure that we can think about as we get new information in from certain tactics being run and it's either not working as well as we thought or it's doing gangbusters. Well, we can take that information and use it to guide what comes next. I think it's also really important that when you think about a marketing plan, you are creating accountability, not just on yourself, but on the team that's working on this project. If you would like to keep your client, if you would like to have more business in the future, it is really important to have that accountability. Make sure that everybody is seeing things the same way. You're all on the same page. And it also makes sure that then, from a project management approach, everybody's doing what they need to, the tasks that were assigned to them. And most importantly, that all of this work that's been done is going to have some kind of results that meaningfully impact the client. That's super important to make sure that this is not just an exercise in creativity, but it really does move the needle. So, the title of the slide, we make things harder. It's not that I want our classes at Bellevue to be intentionally hard, but we do want to make sure that we are thinking about what do employers need and make sure that you are getting set up for success. I think most schools that have marketing programs, they tend to have one class called strategy. And in that one 5 credit class, you're supposed to learn everything there is about crafting a marketing strategy. It doesn't work that way at all. Strategy is a very complex process. There's no one right way to do it. And a lot of people bang their heads against the wall against it because it's so frustrating to understand what do we mean by strategy and what do I have to do to actually make that come to life. Because it's such a complex process, we want to make sure that our students here at Bellevue College are practicing it again and again and again, class after class. So what is a difficult process starts to feel like second nature for you over time as you repeat and learn and improve and then repeat again and hopefully keep improving and keep learning. We've heard from employers, they tell us, it's great that the students seem smart and they come out of the program and know certain skills, but we often find that they don't understand the bigger picture. They're not critical thinkers, they're not problem solvers. And we wish that when we hired them on the first day, they'd come in and they'd be able to assess situations, see the problem, and start helping us figure out how do we move forward. That could be thinking about how are the marketing efforts built on insights? What are clear objectives that tie back to that research? How do we create a unified strategy that actually then brings all this together? So, for this reason, you will see that doing integrated marketing plans is part of almost every one of our classes here at Bellevue College, because we want to make sure that when you graduate from here, you don't just have a degree, but you have the skills needed from local employers. We talk a lot about promotional marketing in our program. You know, I think if you go to University of Washington, you go to Seattle University, you go to Western Washington, you're going to have them talk about the full range of the marketing mix. There'll be classes and thinking about product and price and distribution, and all those things are terrific. They're really good to know. But that's not where a lot of the jobs are these days. Most people that get a job in product development usually have an MBA from an Ivy League school. If you're going to do pricing, you probably have a master's or even a doctorate degree in statistical modeling. Distribution is it's a very much an old boys network, and it can be harder to find jobs in that area. But promotion, marketing communications, there's a whole bunch of jobs out there. There is a huge need for talent right now, and it makes it one of the most in-demand career areas. That's a big part of why our program is focused on this particular element of the marketing mix. We want to make sure that you're not just getting that cursory overview, but you really know one area well. So you can not just get a job after graduation, but you're finding jobs that are going to have a career path that will lead to promotion, have an opportunity for growth. There's no guarantee with any degree, but we're hoping that what we're teaching you here is differentiating enough that you have a real advantage to compete against students from larger schools. We just also want to make sure that we are showing employers that we heard what they said, and we are giving them the kind of graduates that have the skills that they claim they need. It's really important to change perception of Bellevue College and help them understand we are aligned with what they're looking for. So here's the key slide from this particular presentation, which is what is that marketing plan framework? Everything needs to start with research. A lot of people balk at the idea of research, like, oh, that's not fun. I don't need to do that. I already know what I want to do. I want to build a video ad. But if you do not have evidence to point the way forward and show what you need to do, it's going to be problematic. You need to have evidence to show your stakeholders that you have a reason for doing what you're doing. And the next video in this series specifically talks about how to conduct that research. The next step is translating it into objectives. Now, if you've taken a business class before, you understand this idea of objectives, but there is some things that are really different about doing objectives for a promotional marketing campaign. And the video after that will go into how do we build those objectives. And what seems like a very easy task can be a little complicated and take some practice. Probably the hardest step of all, though, is defining a strategy. So the video after that will go into detail on how do you create a promotional marketing strategy statement, and how is that used to help guide the process. And then we can finally get to the part that most students are eager to go to, which is tactics. They have ideas of how they want to execute, tell stories to consumers, but it's really important to have that underlying research, objectives, and strategies first. And then finally, any good tactic must be measured. If you're not thinking about measurement, you're going to find that you're not going to hold on to that job too long. You need to be able to explain why money was spent and how it made a difference for your client. On this page here, you can see an example of the integrated marketing plan template. This is a PDF file that should be posted in the Canvas section for all classes in our marketing program. It's a good reference point to help you understand the process, understand the how-to of each of those 5 different elements of the framework. I would encourage you to take a look at it and make sure that it's printed out. A newer version was just created this spring 2020, so take a look at the new version to make sure and see if there's any differences. It's kind of expanded and has a little bit more information in it. But hopefully, this will be beneficial for you and answer some of the questions that you have about integrated marketing plans. I appreciate you guys tuning in for this video. If you've got any questions, again, don't be shy. Reach out to me. Ask me any questions you might have or share your thoughts. And if you just have some bigger picture questions about the degrees we offer, how the program works, don't be shy. Also reach out to Christy, our program manager. She would love to talk to you about classes, advising around the program, whatever you need. Thanks so much. Have a great day.